Hello, I'm Paul Beckwith, and right now I'm in Glasgow, Scotland. I've got the River Clyde right behind me, and I'll just pan around so you can see part of the city where I'm at. And I'm just going to walk along the river and just chat about the last few days. If you're traveling, you have to be extremely careful because you need so far this conference has been all about COVID testing. Had to have the polymeric chain reaction, the PCR test, 72 hours before I left, within 72 hours of my flight leaving Ottawa. And that's a test that is required I'm just going under a bridge right now, so it's a bit dark. Bear with me, I'll be at the other end in a second. So the PCR test is required by the Scottish government, or the British government rather, for entry into Scotland. And basically, so did that test, and then there's something called a tracking form, basically, so the government knows where you are and can get in contact with you if there's any issues or any problems. But you have to be careful for that tracking test because you have to go to the UK. Hello. You have to go to the UK government site. So if you Google the personal locator form, what it takes you to is some other non-UK government sites, and some of them are fraudulent. So they ask you the exact same questions as the UK government site does, but it scams you for £50, £60 or something, instead of taking you to the legitimate site. So it's very easy to screw up like that, which of course I did. But anyway, I got onto the site, and everything's okay. I may have to cancel my credit card. I'm not sure if the place I went to was legitimate or not. And of course, you have to give out a lot of information and so on the site. It's been raining here essentially since I got here. Most days are well over an inch of rainfall, typically 2 to 3 centimeters. Today we actually saw the sun, and today is Saturday. We actually saw the sun, and it was actually quite warm. It was nice and warm relative for this time of year. And I went over to the COP and registered, got my badge, and of course that required another test. So every day we have these, we've got these test kits, these for antigen tests. So basically every single day in the morning we do tests at our own accommodation, and they take about 20 minutes, half an hour to get the results. And you have to show a negative result to be allowed into the COP, either the blue zone, which is where the delegates go and the NGOs go and a lot of the negotiations occur, and then the green zone is open to the public as long as they pass the COVID tests. Now, these tests are free to all, throughout the UK, throughout Scotland. They're really trying to encourage people to take these free tests to eliminate the virus. So that's some of the main things. Glasgow's a nice city. It's about 1.6 million people. The whole country, the whole place, Scotland, is only about 5.5 million. So the COP is a huge event for the country and for the people here. Locals tell me that it's one of the biggest events that Scotland has had in many, many years. And as you walk around the city, there's all kinds of posters and billboards and video, large, huge video screens, TV screens, talking about the COP. So that's all a good sign. I'm not sure how many people are going to be attending, how many delegates. Tomorrow is the first day where I'm going to be giving a press conference with Regina, and Heidi and Charles are organizing it, and we're going to be talking. Hopefully we have Peter Carter with a video message at the press conference because he's not able to attend, and we'll be talking about weather extremes in the climate casino. So, of course, to talk about weather extremes, you have to talk about the root cause, which is the slowing and very, very wavy jet streams. And, getting stuck in place, going very, very far to the north, in fact, going to the North Pole on occasion, bringing very, very warm, humid air up as far as the North Pole in the middle of the winter, when the Arctic is in complete darkness, and also going very, very far south, in fact, going as far south as the equator and crossing the equator. So I'm just wondering if I should take this cool looking pedestrian bridge to go across, and I think the answer is yes. Here's the bridge. I'll just do a sort of pan. I got to go slower. I'm told I go way too fast for these pans. So you can see the city behind me. Hold my umbrella up. I'll keep going around a full circle. And then you can see the river Clyde is behind me and the pedestrian bridge going across. And it looks very cool. So I'll check it out. So I'm hoping that governments and politicians and negotiators start getting a bit more real about climate change, because up until now, all these people have been living in a dream world which is not on this earth. Their feet aren't solidly on this earth as far as what they're talking about and saying and doing on abrupt climate system change, because our planet is changing before our very eyes with the weather extremes, and that's a grave threat to global stability and our food supply. In the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have a blue ocean event very soon, and that is going to further increase the disruption of the jet streams and further cause more and more extreme weather events. And we're already seeing rising food prices in many places of the world as crops continue to fail. This is a very cool bridge. They are taking a lot of action in Scotland on climate change compared to many other countries. It's pretty obvious that this is a very, very interesting place. I think I can just continue walking along the river, but let's have a look. Check it out. So there's the bridge in the background, very scenic. I'll just do another pan around here so that you can see the scenery that I've got right now. Get the umbrella out of the way. I'm just holding the camera with my hand. There's no image stabilization, so it's not too bad. Anyway, I think I can just continue walking along the path here of the river, kind of exploring, see what's going on. There's cars backfiring or some fireworks in the background. But essentially, it's pretty clear. As long as government leaders around the world continue to subsidize fossil fuel exploration and mining and extraction and prices, processing prices, the whole chain, then this is blocked off. So this is private. Okay, so plan B, go back to the main road. As long as this happens with governments, we know that they're not serious about addressing climate change, that they want to keep the status quo and cater to the lobbyists, or should I say propagandists, that are working for very rich oil companies, among the most powerful companies in the world. And as long as these subsidies, which are basically a negative tax on carbon, we're paying billions and billions of dollars each year, untold billions, to continue to utilize and expand the fossil fuel industry, and it's got to die. I mean, this is a crime. I like how Peter Carter puts it in his videos and in a book that he wrote. This is the ultimate crime of the century. This is the ultimate crime of human history. The ultimate genocidal behavior, self-destructive behavior that is occurring. And we're basically, I think I got to go up another street or two. Thing in Scotland, always look both ways, because the driving, of course, you drive on the left. If you're sitting in the car, you're on the other side than what we expect in the car. And when if you're from North America and you go to Scotland or the UK, the way you instinctively expect cars to appear from is wrong. And the easiest thing is just look both ways at whatever street you're on, because the way that you think cars will be coming from is not the way they're actually coming from. It's interesting in Scotland. I'll be visiting Bonnybridge, I hope, which is where my mother is from. And after all these years, she has not lost her Scottish accent. Actually, I think her accent is more British. She spent some time in the UK, so maybe I mean, I can understand her, but I can't understand half of what people are saying here if they speak very, very fast, because the accent just gets me. But there is a good book which I have to read. It's called How the Scots Invented the Modern World. And there's just so many Scottish engineers and scientists back, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, who did so much work in the advancement of science and the advancement of technology, engineering technologies, etc., bridge building, shipbuilding, all of that. Some fantastic designers. And even now I've noticed some very, very simple but effective innovations in the city that I haven't noticed in other places, other cities. And I'll give you a couple examples. I have many examples, but one of them is that cars parking on residential streets or even major roads, they park facing both ways on each side of the street. In other words, if you're walking up on the left side of the street, the left parking region, there's cars could be facing the way the traffic is going and opposite to the traffic is going, and they're all intermeshed. And at first this looks really bizarre, but then you realize that, if a car is parking facing one way and another car is behind it facing the other way, there can be almost zero space between the bumpers, and both cars can easily get out. So the packing density is higher for cars that park this way. Also, on residential streets, you can double park. So a family that owns two cars can have one car parked right along the sidewalk and another car blocking it in, even facing the other way, parallel to the first car, and that's not a problem. You see that all over the place and it's not ticketed. Another thing is that the sidewalks and roads I find that they're not slippery at all. They're not like, the streets in Ottawa. When it rains, some of them can get quite slippery. And that's because there's a lot of gravel and small rocks embedded actually in the asphalt on both the sidewalks and the biking lanes. And I mentioned all of the rain that we get here in Glasgow. And, there's just not, it's very easy to walk. It's not slippery at all because of that innovation. And I suspect that the gravel embedded in the asphalt not only increases traction, but it probably increases the lifetime of the surface. The surface isn't completely black asphalt, so in the baking hot sun, the temperatures of the surface will be lower and it won't degrade as quickly. And in the bike lanes, which there are numerous bike lanes around the city, and like most big cities of the world now, there's lots of electric cars. I haven't seen the electric bikes. I haven't seen the electric scooters too much. I've seen a few. But they're embedded with a different type of, different color rock, and they help to distinguish, if a person is walking and just looking down, they help to separate the two different pathways. So anyway, tomorrow is the first big day, first press conferences, and I'm hoping that there's live feeds, but if not, I'll be recording it and posting a video promptly, as will the Climate Emergency Forum. So thank you for following, and I'll keep you updated on Glasgow and the COP. Okay, bye for now.